ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So we are in chapter 2. Last time we went through mantra 3. So yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasah avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. So the one for whom Brahman is not available as an object of experience, for him Brahman is known. Yasya matam tasya amatam. The one who says that he is seeing Brahman as an object, for whom for that person actually it is not available. He is not seen it actually. But the one who says no, that's not the case, it is, he sees. So this is what it is. Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasah avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. It's the same thing. So it's a repetition. So that is what was said. Going further, this one is mantra 4. I think earlier we saw mantra 3. This one is mantra 4 in chapter 2. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate veryam vidyaya vindate mritam. So this is the verse which we will see today. So we'll just read the literal translation first, the immediate translation, and then we'll go to the details. So Brahman is known through every cognition. One indeed gains immortality from that cognition. One gains the capacity to know by oneself. Thereafter, one gains immortality by knowledge. So what is said here is, the very perception or imagination or a feeling of the ultimate cause, when we give that name Brahman, the ultimate cause being far away from us, that apprehension or idea is being dispelled. So right now at this point in time, Shastra is suggesting that Brahman is a part of every thought that's happening right now. So it is as proximate as that. Earlier when we start our journey thinking the Lord, though we know from Shastra and through our family values, whatever has been passed on to us, we know that certain statements are made and transferred from generation to generation, where for example one of the statement which we have been hearing is that Lord is everywhere. So this we have been hearing. But for that to occur in spirit, that's very important. So that takes vichara. For example, if our mother says that hey, God is everywhere, so don't be afraid of anything. So for example, if we think that no, when I'm lonely, mommy, I'm feeling frightened. So what mother will try to do? Mother will try to give confidence in her child. Uh, Perhaps he could be alone, or perhaps she want to prepare him for any event when he would be alone. So she doesn't want him to suffer because of that uh, fear. It's possible that mother herself is not that convinced, or mother herself may be having that problem of uh, you know fear during loneliness. But still, since she knows that she was told, so this is more a form, so that's where the spirit and form is very different. Since she was also told by her parents that don't worry, Lord is everywhere, so we are in his hands only, so there's no place where he is not, so don't worry about it. Like if you think that Bhoot is there, Lord is also there, he will take care of Bhoot, just pray, take the support of Lord. So this is a suggestion which comes, this is form. So mother will transform that form to that kid, and the kid definitely at that point in time, since they just take the confidence given by parents. So that Shraddha is there. This is where Shraddha makes such a big difference. So they know that what parents say is true, simple. For whatever reason, they know that it's true. During the time when they don't become rational, this, that. At a period when they completely depend on parents, they will take everything from parents. So the parent, the moment they say that Lord is everywhere, don't worry about it. So the distance of perceived Lord being far away, that's where the yonder, we use the word yonder, is killed by that statement. Shruti also being Mata, we call it Shruti Mata. So Vedas is Shruti Mata. Shruti being Mata, she is also attempting to do the same thing. See, the first line is what? Brahman is known through every cognition. One indeed gains immortality. One gains the capacity to know by oneself. One gains immortality by the knowledge. The first line is Shruti is known through every cognition. So, if our idea is to understand Brahman as well, in the entire pursuit, we have three things. One is the inquirer and world and the creator of both these. So these are the three things that we are looking at, we are examining. Of this, the creator, who is the creator of both these, definitely has to be understood, and that's where Aikya is going to happen, by knowing oneself to be that. That's what is going to happen. So, but before that, we should first know who Brahman is and what is his nature. So, if Brahman was an object, it would have been very clear. People would have packed Brahman and sent it in many sizes actually. 200 gram, 100 gram, 300 gram, 400 gram. It would have been available in many kind of SKUs, we call it actually. So, unfortunately, Brahman is not an object, so he cannot be packed and sold. Okay, Brahman is the whole. So, if the whole can be, or rather, if the whole has to be packed, then you have to find a packing that has to be bigger than that whole. So, if there is a packing available to pack the whole, then there will be a hole in that hole. That concept of whole will have a hole. Not possible. So, when we are dealing with Brahman, who is the cause of everything, world as well as this inquirer, we have to be guided properly. And mind being what it is, it will try to understand, rather it can understand things only in the way it is used to. So we have perception, inference. So what is that we have? The tools we have, all this karana, what we have are panchendriyas. Pancha karmendriya, pancha jnanendriya. So jnanendriyas are the ones which give us knowledge, so called. So they normally strengthen our error. So they strengthen our ajnana. Actually, see, the example is this way. We know that when the concept of movie is is not real, in the sense there are actors and the movie is taken, and when run fast it shows as though those images are moving. We know this very well, but still we give credence because we want to enjoy the movie. So we don't think scientifically when we watch a movie, we watch it just artistically. That's how we do actually, otherwise we can't even enjoy a movie. So that is the status. So that is the status actually. So once when you delve into details, then at that time you understand that okay, fine, there is no credence to any of those objects which is appearing in front of us because they are not there. So in a movie, when you really know what movie is all about, you know that it's all different frames. So even in a book, you can just make a dot progressively, from left side to right side or left side, top end, wherever you want to do. And if you just flip that, that set of book like this, no, then it will show that it is moving actually. So even we can create a movie with a simple dot engineered that way. Actually, we can do it. But mind has a particular way of perceiving things. Mind perceives that the thing is moving. That's where the beauty is. Otherwise, if mind was equal to intelligence and mind was equal to science completely, without having the ability to ignore every science part of it, mind could have never, enjoyed perception in front of it. For example, there is something called shutter speed, we call, I think, in camera. How many frames it captures within a given click? That's what I think it means. Human perception, whether it is hearing or seeing or whatever, it has its own limitations. If we were not made this way, I'm sure there would have been problems. For example, our ears can, I think, listen some sound in a particular bandwidth. So less than 20,000 units or whatever it is. So beyond that, any sound we can't hear. And below a particular threshold, also we cannot hear. How is this helpful? Now, when you want to go to sleep, you can tell your members, family members, saying that I'm going to sleep, I'm tired, please do not make a noise. Okay, so this you can tell your family members. But now when you're sleeping, for example, if you are able to hear all the sounds, okay, irrespective of the frequency, you can't you can't tell one of those creatures, insects, which can create this kind of sound, ultrasound. So if it creates ultrasound, and if you are able to listen, then you can never sleep because you can't calm all these insects actually. Though of course our company is in the business of manufacturing insecticides, so probably we come into picture there. That's a different thing. But it's difficult to calm all these insects, saying, yeah, please don't make noise, I want to sleep. It's very difficult. So practically there will be a problem as well if our indriyas were capable of everything. It would have been very difficult. Similarly, thank God we cannot see microorganisms. We cannot see microorganisms. Thankfully, we need a microscope. All of us know that, let me not specify any food material, otherwise then I don't want people to get into aversion. So we know that food material may have some microbes which is good, some microbes which may not be great. If you happen to see every food item under the microscope first and then eat it, you will never eat it actually. You will never eat it. Even you would want to keep away your biology class knowledge when you are eating. I don't know how doctors live actually. Doctors understand everything about biology. I don't know how these gentlemen really live, on a day-to-day basis, because they get to know everything. When they drink coffee, they will know, yaar, isme ye hai. So I don't know how they really live. It's very difficult. So all that what I'm saying is that things are enjoyable through perception when everything is not perceived. So mind has a limitation. Mind wants to perceive, mind says that I want this, I want that, I want Lord, everything. But if it is allowed to perceive everything, then it is a problem. But it will say that no, I don't know why I can't hear all this ultrasound. I should have been able to hear. No, why I'm not able to hear? It will say all this. Then when it is allowed, it will have this problem. Then it will say, boss, please take away this capacity from me. I don't want to hear all the insect noise, frog noise, every noise. Bat only uses ultrasound to really travel. It doesn't even use the sense of sight actually. It's only using the sense of that frequency, ears. So it understands that there is an object in front of it because it lets out ultrasound. And when the ultrasound comes back very quickly, it knows that there is something in front of it and it just deviates. So it takes a detour because there is an object inside. So the way that creature understands perception is different. It's completely different. So perception being of this nature, so what kind of credence we can give to perception? Saying that I want to see Lord, even if he is shown, is that going to be true? That will be the question. So that is where mind has to be told as to what is the nature of that object, what it is looking for. If that object was something which could be packed, that would have been different, but that is not the case. You can put Brahman also on that and they can sell it, but that doesn't happen that way. It is not that way. Having said that, then mind also has to be told that, okay, so in that case, when I can never see Lord, so is it like, an endless pursuit? No. Shruti Mata has to come somewhere and then say that the way that other mother was telling the child, saying, no, God is everywhere, don't worry, he's right now here also. So don't worry about Bhoot, Pichach, all these things. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything else. He is always there here. So that similarly, Shruti is saying Brahman is known through every cognition. Every cognition. Now we are all listening. So when you are listening, what's happening? Whatever I am saying is in fact getting converted into electronic signals or electric signals. In fact, what I'm saying is getting converted first into electronic, then into optical signals, goes through optical fiber cables. So basically it goes as light first, in between, whichever place you are in, there are optical fibers connecting us. At the end, you have something which can convert that optical signal into, again, electronic signal. When it reaches your instrument, the electronic signal is converted into sound. So this is how we are perceiving. Understand it. When you understand so much of it, actually, you really think what is happening actually. So when you get to the details, this is the level it is in. So for mind to be told that right now here itself the Lord is, it has to be introduced at some point of the other to start further. So for us to think, we think through thoughts. So thoughts themselves manifest only because there is already some other basis on which thoughts are dependent. This is where it was useful to understand the Shariratraya or Panchakosha. It was useful to understand that. So we understood that all these bodies, they depend basically on the Panchamahabhuta, and Panchamahabhuta also depend on Brahman. How? The first bhuta is space, and space comes how? As a process of Brahman plus Maya. So Maya as of now is not mentioned in Kenopanishad here. I'm just borrowing that idea from Vivek Chudamani, since most of you have gone through that. So Brahman plus Maya is equal to space. So when you bring it to oneself, consciousness is Brahman plus ignorance about consciousness. Ignorance of our self being consciousness, that is Maya. Consciousness plus ignorance of ourselves being consciousness is equal to our life. That's what we are. Just imagine, consciousness is Brahman plus ignorance of ourselves being consciousness. That is where the main part is, and that is what is getting addressed. So, consciousness plus, basically, you can say consciousness, you can give another name, that is Atma. Atma plus Atma Avidya is equal to Jiva. We call it Jiva. Now the name is very nice actually. हर दिन मरते हैं लेकिन उसका नाम है जीवा. That's an amazing thing. Oxymoron actually. Jiva. So that is how it is actually. So Atma is equal to consciousness plus Atma Avidya is equal to Jiva. So Jivatva has to necessarily have this ingredient of Avidya. Otherwise, we cannot compartmentalize ourselves from the world and from the whole. The compartmentalization is an outcome of Atma Avidya. So that's a necessary ingredient. It's very difficult actually, if you ask me. It's very difficult to go to consciousness and say that, hey, I want to create one more Jiva, so please forget yourself being Brahman. It's very difficult to create. That's where we say only Maya can create that. It's not in our hands. You cannot go and just out of space. You have space, you have Brahman right now here. Take 1 unit of Brahman, create one more Jiva. No, biologically, yes, we can through reproduction. But then there you are not creating through will. That's a different thing. You just let it to chance. So that's why it is almost like setting curd. That's it. So nothing more you can do about it. So to fix avidya in a unit of consciousness by creating, some more components there and creating a jiva is impossible. It can just happen. We are already there. That's the reason it can definitely happen. And it is only one side where you can get out of it. You can just get out of it. You are there in that confusion, get out of it. So Atma plus Atma Avidya is equal to Jiva. That is the reason we are having Atma Vidya. So now Atma plus Atma Avidya plus Atma Vidya becomes what? Atma Vidya is opposite to Atma Vidya. So they get cancelled. Is equal to Atma. That's it. The moment you remove avidya through this antidote of Shruti, you obtain yourself already. Shastra is saying this Brahman is available and it obtains throughout all the thoughts. Anything that you know or anything that you do not know. So the entire knowing or not knowing, that concept itself is through consciousness, right? That consciousness which reveals everything, a mind which is alert and a mind which is resolved. Both these, it kind of objectifies. It throws light on both these actually. So in Sushupti, you are able to see a mind which was resolved. See in the sense not actively. When you are not stepping out and seeing, that stepping out, again you will have a question, right? Who is the one who stepped out? So that which is always there is everywhere. It need not step out from anywhere. That obtains even during sleep. So the one who is creating the noise has resolved. But the one who was always available everywhere, he was available everywhere at all times. The only thing is noise is reduced. The moment noise is reduced, automatically the other thing is much clearer. So that's where the switch has to happen. The switch is basically you are that other thing which is stable, which is beyond time and space. So here in this verse, what is being created is the entire distance of ourself from that perceived Lord, that he is everything. That distance is being killed. He's saying right now, in every cognition, Brahman is there. So that entire spatial distance, which is more an imagined spatial distance, is getting removed. And that is very important. So, as a statement that has come, but with Vichara, the idea is that one has to really say that, yes, the distance between me and the Lord is gone for good. So, that is the expectation, that's the outcome expected. Because we cannot say that since Shastra said that Brahman is not away from me, I have accepted it. That's the reason I am saying I am Brahman. So then we'll ask a question, okay, Shastra said that it is not away from you, but you as an entity, you still say that Brahman is not away from me. So if that differentiation is there in your mind, don't you think your mind or your stand itself, that Brahman is away from you, is creating that distance? So answer will be yes. If I say Shastra is saying Brahman is not away from me, so I take Brahman to be very close to me. Very close to me is still a distance. The outcome has to be that any fraction of the distance has to be removed. Even a micron of distance cannot be left to thrive. That's what Vichara is. That's what knowledge is. Knowledge is always 100%. Knowledge is always 100% actually. So, when the distance between Jiva and Parama is being erased, it may be gradually erased, okay, that is a journey we can say, but when it occurs, that occurrence, and the word occurs is very nice, when it occurs in the mind as to what is being said, there you obtain yourself. After that, no more classes required actually, you will be probably then teaching. Or even not teaching, that's a different thing. What you do is immaterial after that. But the point is, not even a micron of distance can be there between the sense of your identity and the sense of Lord's identity. Not even a micron of distance. This is the reason the statement goes, Brahmasmi. So I think Brihadaranyaka, I think, says this. So Aham Brahmasmi. So when one says Aham Brahmasmi, he says I am that consciousness, I am that Lord, I am that Brahman. So he is not, I am that Brahman. That, why do we say? Because before the pursuit, it was thought to be different from us, from oneself. That's the reason that language has to be still used. Otherwise he need not say anything actually. Now without using that word that, how will he use anything now? He has to still use the word. And only that way we will understand. That's the reason the way it has been passed on to us. Otherwise, one, after understanding Brahman, oneself to be Brahman, he need not even make a statement. You don't need to have even Aham Brahmasmi as a statement. If you are already Brahmasmi, to whom you want to say that? There is no one else. To whom you want to say? There is no one else. So when there is no one else, why do you say? Where there is sound. Sound means what? It's a frequency. It has to travel from somewhere to somewhere. That's what it's movement. When there is only one thing, where is the movement? There is no movement. It's just one thing. So there is no movement. There is no this side or that side. There is no space. That space only we have completely undone. The moment you do that space, you negate space 100%. Time is also gone. The moment you remove space, time is also gone. They are together all the time actually. So the moment both these are gone, Aikya is done. Aikya is done. After that, nothing is remaining actually. So in this shloka, Shruti is attempting to kill that distance. So it's saying one indeed gains immortality from that cognition. How? That's how I was explaining. When you understand that you are that ultimate, Aham Brahmasmi, you are that ultimate, and there is absolutely nothing in between you and Brahman, whatever it was perceived earlier, then what is the corollary of all this knowledge now? Brahman was said to be that from where this entire world emerges, including us. And when we started the pursuit, we start with one of the problems, that main problem, that we have a sense of being limited. We feel that happiness is not enough, and we want that kind of happiness which we will not lose ever, which will last longer. That was the pursuit. So, that being the pursuit, then it was said by Shastra only that, okay, please understand, keep Viveka first, part of Chatana Chatushtaya. We'll keep on using, the points, the nuggets from Viveka Chudamani all the time. So, Viveka meant that one has to be very clear about one's concept as a postulate when we start. Nitya Vastu Vekam Brahma, Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. There is only one Vastu that exists, that is Brahman. So it was very clearly said, that subsumes everything. It subsumes the inquirer as well as the world. Because other two things are only this, no. We have three things, Triputi model. The ultimate cause, the inquirer, and the world in front of us. That's it, front of this inquirer. These are the only three things that is that's spoken about. So it introduced it that way, and then Shastra knows that the inquirer still has this perception of distance between, maybe a spatial distance between himself and that ultimate. So that has to be removed. It knows very clearly that during the vichara, that distance has to be removed. That's what it is doing. So it says that the distance is not at all there, because that cognition is cognition. Brahman as cognition, your consciousness is available all the time. All the time, in every cognition he is available. Even when you say I am tired, the one who is ultimately blessing this thought is also Brahman. And next day when someone says I am quite energetic now, the same Brahman only is blessing this thought also. The same Brahman is only blessing this thought also. Okay, having removed the distance, what is going to happen? The outcome is one indeed gains immortality from that cognition. How? When we say that Brahman is everything, and when it is then said that you are that Brahman, second to yourself, nothing exists. So there is nothing which can limit you. The only thing is, from a human understanding, what normally we have, we can say that, अरे मैं किसके साथ चाय पीऊंगा फिर? If there is no second person, Advaita, then how do, I'll have tea. I need someone to converse. So I want to share my happiness with someone. That's how I'll be happy. So then how will those things happen? Now I'm a little worried about Vedanta. This mind can go to this level also, because that's what mind is. So mind is compartmentalized. It will always think from that compartmentalized view only. So when mind is to be told that, boss, you are suffering. Why? You do not know your nature. Okay, what is my nature? Your nature is you are everything. Okay, so if I am everything, there is nothing other than myself. No. Okay, to some extent, some of the characters which you do not want to have, then you say, fine, I am everything. So those characters are eliminated. It is fine to that level. But if I want to have some of the characters as a transactional, reality, so it is a Vishya Ananda, then I want those characters to be there. I don't want them to be one with me actually. So then what happens with that? So all this can happen in mind, because that is how mind works. But reality is being pointed out by Shastra, because Shastra cannot say something because we like something. Shastra cannot say that. Shastra has to say what is true. Because Maya on one part is able to cover the original truth and also project the original to be a different thing. That is why we see world. Okay, the same Maya only is doing that. Since it is the one who is doing that, that is the only one which can also give an antidote. That's the reason we have to depend on Shruti only, because the one who has created the puzzle only has the answer to that puzzle. So normally you would have seen that, you will get puzzle, and it's also said that, okay, turn to page 100 for solutions. For solutions, most of the time you see, accidentally if you flip the page, you will get to know the answer, right? So what they will do, they will put it in ulta order actually. You have to, for example, the book is normally like this. Okay, solution page, when you go, it will be last page like this. Then you'll have to flip like this and then read. So that's how they put it. Why? Because accidentally when you see if the answer is no, then what is their enjoyment in the puzzle? So this is how, to some extent, Vedanta is actually, Vedanta needs a lot of vichara. It is almost like that answer given in the puzzle only. So I was saying that, Shastra is first killing that distance, the perceived distance, and it's saying it's quite proximate. Brahman is there in every cognition. And okay, then what is the gain by knowing that knowledge? One gains immortality. Immortality, how? We think we are mortals because we think that we are bound within this limited boundary of skin, and whatever we are inside, that's what we are. And we can see that very clearly. Fire can burn us very clearly. If there is fire, we are gone. If there is water, our capacity to inhale and exhale goes off, we are gone. So we know that we are immortals in that sense. The moment Shastra makes us understand that, boss, you are not this body, you are not any of these things, you are not Panchakosha, you are not this Shariratraya, you are that witness which is beyond all these things. And where the clue is available? The clue is available in Sushupti. In Sushupti, when mind is resolved, the connection with body itself is gone, mind is already resolved, so there is no connection with mind and body. There, noise is not there. To that level, when you get up, you understand that my entire problem of body and mind was not there because mind had completely resolved. So that comes because there is another person who's witnessing it. That's the reason it's able to recollect it actually. So that happens in Sushupti. So once you understand that you are not any of these changing things, automatically immortality is an outcome in terms of understanding. That's why it is said. And one gains the capacity to know by oneself. So one can say actually, if it is said that one gains the capacity to know by oneself, can we do it without Shastras? No. Shastra is saying that, so you have to first enter into Shastra to understand this also. But after Vichara, in this particular way, only one gets the capacity to know oneself. How? As we say, once we understand that we are the consciousness which is everywhere, job is done. That way it is saying one gets the capacity to know oneself. Because for us to isolate consciousness is everywhere actually. You don't need to isolate it, but that's how it is. No. Maybe you have to isolate the body from all these things or mind from all these things. The moment you isolate these things, automatically consciousness is already available. You are already that consciousness. So that way, the capacity to know by oneself definitely is there. See, if consciousness was something which is available as chai, then you'll have to go to that chai and then in chai dukan and get it actually. But you happen to be consciousness, it is there everywhere in every cognition. That's the reason you don't have to depend on anything else. So you get the capacity to know yourself, by yourself. That's how it is. So thereafter one gains immortality by knowledge. So again, immortality is from the sense of mind only. When we take ourselves to be each of this, one of these things, Shariratraya or Panchakosha, definitely decay is for sure. There's no doubt about it actually. How much ever a person may be Vedanti, that person's whatever body, mind, whatever is there, has to go away in time. Because even now, it is sustaining only because of time and space and the ingredients in this world. It's a different thing that this entire thing is not existing because these are all made of matter, antimatter, and energy compensating energy. The other side, right? Positive energy, negative energy, both this. So when they all come together, you don't have any of these things. And when you don't have any of those things, you obtain yourself completely pure. And for this, we don't need to wait for a pralaya to happen. The pralaya, the atyantalaya, is just in our thought. In our thought, that Atma Avidya, the moment it is killed through knowledge, automatically that barrier which you have created is gone. So compartmentalization is not there. That is why it is akhanda vritti. So for creating khanda, you need that line of difference you have to create between yourself and that ultimate. The moment the line is drawn, the whole world is there. Just because we have drawn one line. Imagine, you have a white paper, it's total. You put a line, you have created a partition. So, and depending on where you create the line and which side you take yourself to be, that's what is going to be your size. right? So that line creates all the difference. This is really a world of difference. So that line has to be undone. That's what Shastra is helping us to do. So this is what I wanted to explain in my own way. Swamiji has written almost about, I think, 6-7 pages. Amazing explanation he has given. We'll open the session for discussion, whatever you may be having.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Bhavya.
Yes, sir. Can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So, sir, actually, what you said, no, Atma Vidya plus Atma is equal to life, right? So, and then you also mentioned regarding, regarding the food you were talking about. So you said, I don't want to tell anything that regarding any specific food, otherwise you will keep it in mind, right?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, although now knowledge is there, still we are thinking that avidya will be there in my mind. So, I mean, then how knowledge is removing that? I don't know whether I'm put it across properly.
No, you have to say again. Please say.
See. Knowledge, Atma plus avidya is equal to life. That is correct, no?
Yes.
Okay. Knowledge will come, that avidya will go, and then we will become one.
1 minute.
Correct,
1 minute. I have to just correct one understanding. If at all, that's where the problem is. Avidya is ignorance about oneself, not about any of the worldly things. That avidya is the ingredient actually to start with. See, avidya about oneself. So, Atma avidya. That's the reason I said Atma plus Atma avidya. It is not only avidya. It is an ignorance. Atma, self plus self-ignorance is equal to life, is equal to jiva. So, if you do not know yourself, the world is. Because in that white paper, which is otherwise the whole, you have drawn a line. The moment you draw a line, obviously mind will say this side, that side, back side, every side it will say. Okay, we'll leave the back side for the moment, we'll just see 2D. So, this side, that side, and the moment this side, that side comes, then mind will also say this side is smaller, that side is bigger. And then it can say this side is, kind of a rectangle, and that side is a bigger rectangle, or this side is, if it is diagonally done, this side is a isosceles triangle, and that side is probably an equilateral triangle. I don't know what all.
This side is green, that side is dry.
So Ramya is adding, this side is green, that side is dry. So all, rather it's always the other side. That side is green and this side is dry. So it is always like that actually. So the tricky point here is self plus self-ignorance is equal to jiva. Now you ask the question again if you want.
Okay, now see what I understood is you said regarding the perception when we were talking in the beginning, you said I will not talk about the microbial with respect to any specific food, then you will not be liking the food.
Correct.
No, you said that in the beginning.
Correct.
So although I have a knowledge that this microbial is will be there, but still I have to eat, but still we will keep that in mind. Because although I have a knowledge that anyways nothing is going to differ. If I know it also, if I don't know it also, if I'm having coffee, I will have coffee, right?
Correct.
So although there is a knowledge regarding that microbial is anyways not affecting me any which ways, still why we will keep that in mind? Then I don't want to have it. Now that I got to know, I don't want to have it. That concept why we will get.
Okay. So I think I was talking about maybe to some extent, person like myself also, where sometimes you may get an aversion through knowledge. So aversion works in a particular way. That is how Maya is actually. So if someone will be bound by an aversion, he will be bound by an aversion. It's very difficult to bring people out of those tendencies because these are all natural tendencies, right? So I've seen one thing actually. I don't even want to recollect it. During COVID time, someone sent, I don't want to recollect it. I mean, to that extent, I know I am averse to that actually.
Okay.
some kind of a pattern which the moment I opened it, I threw myself. Actually, I didn't like it. Actually, I wrote so many, kind of not of abusive words. What kind of thing you've done? It was a friend who had forwarded it in a group. Then he was saying, no, I only sent it because people have to be careful. There's an insect like this. If it bites, this can happen. I said, boss, only the site created a problem, not the bite now. That's what I told him. Site created the problem. So then he said, sorry, Bhaskar, I'm removing this. Karke. He removed it. And it was not me alone. So probably we are about 40 persons in that group from our CA firm. All those we did articleship in that particular firm. There was another person also who did the same thing. He reacted the same way. He said, Bhaskar, I felt the same. So mind is made, in different ways. Certain aversions when you get, you can't come over it actually. That comes into your mind every time you eat and you don't want to eat it actually. So I face this problem. So this can happen. So that's the reason, see, mind is operating in a particular bandwidth. Mind can enjoy, okay,
This side, that side. Now I understood.
mind
Both
can,
the sides.
yeah. See, you can enjoy the ignorance in a particular bandwidth. So we have to understand that mind has its limitation. That's why I was saying a movie. If you are a movie maker, right? You will, like, if you are the director or cameraman of that particular movie, the enjoyment which others get by watching the movie will be much more than the enjoyment you would get, because you have been through the entire thing. See, the enjoyment you will get will be of a different kind, saying that you have created a nice work and you are getting fame. So that kind of an enjoyment you will get, but you will not get the enjoyment of watching a movie without knowing the background and the suspense, thriller, or whatever it is. Because suspense, to the cameraman ke liye to kya suspense? He knows everything, the script he knows right from beginning, no. So you see the way mind works. Mind works this way actually. It wants everything in a particular way, and it will also change its ways. That's where samsara becomes so interesting, no? So yesterday tea was appreciable, but today tea is not appreciable. Ab kya karenge? I have another thing. So very difficult, especially with bosses. Yesterday it was that font was good. Today that font is not. Ye kaun sa font leke aage? I don't like this. But most of the time you're in a hurry and you're supposed to go to the board meeting or whatever it is. You can't even tell that, boss, you only said Arial 28 was fine. And today you're telling me, no, you want book Antigua 34. Come on here. Don't be so inconsistent. You can't have all these discussions. Because चीजें नहीं बोला तो एकदम करना काम बस खत्म बात तो everything is done. See, thankfully Shruti is not like that. Shruti is super cool. It says, you have a doubt, come, take this answer. And again you seem to have doubt, again you come, no problem. We will entertain and we will teach. That's what Shruti is actually.
Okay. So, sir, my understanding out of this, what I understood is knowledge can be aversion, knowledge can be leading to ignorance, knowledge can even leading to aversion. That is why yesterday what we liked, today we are not liking that. This is because of that reason.
So aversion is more towards the worldly knowledge. And thank God there is no aversion towards self-knowledge, which many may have. That's the reason they don't get into Atma Vidya. That's a different thing.
So thanks, but you don't tell me.
Yeah. Good that
Start questioning that also.
I know. Good that you are expressing yourself about the understanding of aversion. Very useful it was. Thank God, no. From tomorrow, people should not develop an aversion towards self-knowledge.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. Most welcome. So, anyone else? Ashish or Manish ji?
Not really. I think I'm still
No problem.
absorbing this.
No problem. Anything from Ashish?
No, sir, I'm still reading.
Good. So, see, in
But
summary,
it's becoming more subtler.
it is. See, if we want totality, it will call for total dedication and it will call for total concentration it will call for total focus and total mind strength. So that's what it is actually, because we don't want an object which is a very small object which we are pursuing, and over where, for example, we can give a design and then we can get that. It's not like that. So we are talking about that where, as per design, we have forgotten the original self itself actually. The way it is designed, we have forgotten the original self, because Maya can cover the original and project it as a different thing. This is the spell we are in actually, and to come out of that, it will take as much energy as well. It will take that energy, and there is no other substitute to Vichara. Vichara is the only thing which can solve it, because the original problem is because of ignorance. Knowledge only can solve it. So that is definitely going to take time, and it only means how much of block we have. So see, when we say that Maya covers the original and projects, so there has to be a process in which it will be doing it, and that process can be different from one jiva to the other. It can be different from one jiva to the other. Each of us have certain set of ignorance, and it may not be the same with everyone. The quantum of ignorance which we may have, the conditioning what we may be having, may be different. So for example, I might have had some bad experience with snakes, so I would be still having the fear of snakes, in fact either in this janma or any other janma actually, because those things continue as fear or happiness, whatever it is. They come to us as a basis of our experience. But someone else might not have had this bad experience with snakes. For them, that should be good. I mean, they don't mind about that at all actually. See, in the same house, we have seen that wife is afraid of cockroach, so husband becomes the hero there, and husband is worried about rats, where wife is the hero there. This can happen. This can happen actually. So that way, the way the randomness is there in terms of creating that ignorance or creating that experience what you've gone through is different in different people actually. So the conditioning, whatever is there, has to be removed. So this is basically a very psychological kind of a process where all the conditionings what we have, which basically in turn gives this idea of us being limited, all those conditions are being removed. So when Shastra deals with it, it brings in broad spectrum. So these are all the areas where people make common mistakes and point that out to them. But there may be little bit more subtler mistakes also that may be happening, that normally Shastra handles in different ways. There are many Upanishads and many, you have Shruti as well as Smriti. Shruti is that which is the original, which is just grasped from the system and given by rishis. They have not created that. They just grasped and gave it actually. But Smriti is something like where, like Lord Krishna comes as an avatar and then he gives knowledge. So that is, Bhagavad Gita is more Smriti. So something like that, like, and Itihasa Purana, and then we have also Prakarana Grantha. So Viveka Chudamani is a Prakarana Grantha given by one of those gurus, which is Shankaracharya. He is given it. So all this come to help. So in a way, when we read variety, it addresses to those people who have such varietal issues. That's where it is very useful. But the thread is very common, that you are that consciousness and you are the only thing that exists. In that, the entire world is. So the entire world is basically superimposed on that actually. So basically it is, the entire world is in that only, and it comes and goes. So that's how, so it's almost like a dream. What we see is almost like a dream. That's what it makes us understand actually. So that's when the created problem is gone, and whatever was existing was the only solution, because there is nothing other than that. So that's the idea. Yes, it will take time always, because we want the whole. Okay, bang, I think 7:29 we are. We'll finish with Purnamida. Om Purnamada पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम हरि ओम गुड डे
Hari Om,
everyone
everybody.
हरि ओम
Hare. Yeah, Hare.
Hari Om.